You know that feeling, right? It's late summer. The days are still, wow, gloriously warm and golden, but there's just this hint, that whisper of autumn in the air.
Yeah, that bittersweet moment.
Exactly. Where you just wish you could hit pause, capture all that vibrant beauty around you somehow, and just make it last.
Well, today, that's pretty much what we're going to explore.
Yeah.
We're doing a deep dive into summer flower pressing. It's this really timeless craft. It lets you literally capture that fleeting garden beauty.
Yeah.
And more than that, it transforms it into, well, lasting art, tangible memories.
Okay. I like the sound of that. And our source for this.
Our whole deep dive today is built around the fantastic insights from Mia Gibson's article. It's called Summer Flower Pressing 2025, Preserve Your Most Beautiful Blooms, Wineful Living.
Great title. So our mission today is what exactly?
Basically, to unpack why late summer is like the perfect time for this,
Yeah.
and then guide you through the best techniques for preserving those gorgeous blooms. And then the fun part, really inspire you with some amazing ways to actually use your creations.
Making sure they stay vibrant too, right? For years.
Absolutely. That's key. We'll cover how to make sure they last.
So this sounds like it's for, well, pretty much anyone interested in nature or crafting.
Exactly. Whether you're, a seasoned gardener with amazing flower beds, or maybe someone who just loves spotting wildflowers on a walk.
Or just curious, maybe looking for something calming, creative.
Precisely.
Oh.
Or, yeah, just wanting a calming, creative activity that, frankly, gets you off the screen for a bit. This deep dive is for you. We want to give you that shortcut, really, to being well-informed.
Helping you turn that temporary beauty into something real, something lasting.
Exactly. Tangible memories.
Okay, let's get into it then. I mean, when I think of pressing flowers, my mind often jumps to spring, maybe early summer. But the article, Mia's article, it really focuses on late summer. Why is that period late August, early September? Why is that the sweet spot?
It's all about that final magnificent show,
Yeah.
that sort of crescendo of the growing season. Late August and early September gardens, they're putting on their last grand performance, before fall really takes over.
Oh, okay.
Everything's at its peak vibrancy. The colors are incredibly deep, rich. The blooms are fully mature. It's just the ideal window to grab those flowers and capture their essence right at their best.
That makes total sense. You're really getting the best of the best just before the garden starts winding down. And thinking beyond just the practical side, the peak bloom,
Yeah.
it feels like there's a real emotional benefit too. Maybe even mental.
Oh, absolutely. The source, the article, it highlights a few key ways flower pressing really serves us. First, like we said, preserving those peak moments.
Yeah.
Literally capturing your garden's best in a tangible form.
Right.
Second, you're creating seasonal keepsakes. Think about it. Transforming that fleeting beauty into memories you can actually hold on to, display, maybe even gift.
That's lovely.
Third, and this is quite practical, it's great preparation for fall crafting. You can stock up on these perfectly preserved flowers for, say, holiday cards or unique handmade gifts later on.
Ooh, I like that. Getting ahead of the game for the holidays. And it strikes me as a practice in mindfulness too, something we could all use more of.
Definitely.
Engaging in something slow, deliberate, connecting you straight to nature, not staring at a screen.
Exactly. It almost forces you to slow down, doesn't it? To really observe. Mia Gibson, in the article, she shares this wonderful story about her friend Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah started by pressing flowers from her wedding bouquet. And now, apparently, every summer, it's become this beautiful tradition for her, a way to remember special moments, create new ones. It really becomes a way to create these tangible memories, little time capsules.
Little time capsules. I love that. So connecting this back to the big picture then, it really hammers home that core idea from the article. Summer flower pressing lets you hold on to the season's beauty long after the petals have fallen. It's like making time stand still, almost, giving those vibrant flowers a whole new life beyond their short season.
Indeed. It's about extending that joy, that beauty.
Okay, so let's say you're inspired. You're ready to actually dive in and capture these summer treasures.
Yeah.
Choosing the right flowers and prepping them correctly sounds, well, pretty crucial.
Oh, yeah.
The article mentions Mia's own learning curve. This is something about a moldy mess. I'd only imagine how disappointing that must have been.
Oh, it's such a common beginner's mistake. And Mia's story about hydrangeas trying to press the whole head instead of individual florets, it's a perfect cautionary tale. It really highlights why selecting the right type of flower and preparing it properly is so vital.
Right.
If a flower has too much moisture or if it's just too bulky, it won't dry evenly. And yeah, mold is definitely a risk.
Okay, so if I'm picturing this, What kinds of flowers actually give the best results? Are we talking flat and delicate things, or can thicker flowers work too?
The source is pretty clear on this. Flat-faced flowers are generally your best bet. Things like pansies, violets, cosmos, daisies.
Hmm.
They press beautifully because they naturally lie flat.
Makes sense.
Delicate blooms, too, like Queen Anne's lace, larkspur, forget-me-nots. They hold their intricate shapes really well.
Okay.
And here's a really useful tip from the article. Don't forget about herbs and foliage.
Huh.
Ferns, mint leaves, lavender. They add fantastic texture and structure to your pressed creations. Give them depth.
That's a great point about foliage. I wouldn't have necessarily thought of that. What about those specific late summer stars?
Yeah, the article specifically calls out zinnias, black-eyed Susans, and calendula. They're late summer favorites and offer incredibly vibrant color even after pressing. Definitely worth seeking out.
Good to know. Okay, so we've picked the right kind of flower. Is there a magic time of day to collect them? I'm guessing you don't want them soaking wet from dew.
No, definitely not. Timing is everything for the best results here. The ideal moment is mid-morning. That's usually when the dew has completely dried off, but before the really intense heat of the day kicks in and potentially causes wilting.
Got it.
You want flowers that are fully open, looking their absolute best, but not yet starting to fade or drop petals. Peak freshness, but dry to the touch.
Peak freshness, dry touch.
Okay.
And any preparation pro tips? What if you have a thicker flower or you find the perfect bloom but can't press it right away?
Good questions. For those thicker flowers, the ones that might be tricky, like small roses or maybe carnations, the recommendation is to actually cut them in half vertically before pressing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it just flattens them out nicely and helps them dry much more evenly.
Smart. And if you can't press immediately...
If you find that perfect flower but can't get to pressing right away, the article suggests wrapping the stems in a damp paper towel and popping them in the refrigerator. They should keep for up to 24 hours that way.
Oh, wow. That really extends your window.
It does. It's a handy little trick.
Okay, that's clever. So we've carefully picked and prepped our summer treasures. Now, for the actual magic, the preservation itself, how do we press them? I'm guessing the old heavy book method is still a classic.
It absolutely is. The traditional book pressing method is just a fantastic starting point, mainly because it's so accessible. I mean, most listeners probably already have everything they need right at home.
Right, like what? Heavy books.
Exactly. Heavy, dense books, think dictionaries, old encyclopedias. Then you need some parchment paper or even coffee filters work, and scissors, of course.
So, okay, walk me through it. You trim the stems.
Yep, trim off any excess stem. Arrange your flowers face down on a sheet of parchment paper or, like I said, coffee filters, plain printer paper, blotting sheets, whatever absorbent paper you have.
Face down. Got it.
Then cover them carefully with another sheet of that blotter material. And slide that whole little sandwich into the middle of a heavy book.
Simple enough. But what's the trick to making it actually work well?
The trick is really twofold. Consistent, even pressure, and patience. You stack more heavy books, or maybe even a brick, on top for extra weight. That ensures good contact.
Okay.
But the main thing to remember is that it's slow. This method usually takes about 2 to 4 weeks for the flowers to dry completely.
2 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, patience. And you should probably check them after the first week or so. Just peek carefully, look for any excess moisture, or, heaven forbid, mold.
Right.
If the paper feels damp, just replace it with fresh dry paper and keep pressing. It's low tech, but honestly, it's surprisingly effective. Mia's niece apparently had a great time using this exact method.
Okay, 2 to 4 weeks. That does sound like a long time if you're excited. What if you want something maybe a bit more consistent? Or faster?
That's where purpose-built wooden flower presses come into play. They definitely offer more consistent, even pressure across the board. That really helps reduce any curling or uneven drying you might sometimes get with books.
How do they work differently?
They typically use wing nuts or screws. This lets you gradually tighten the press as the flowers lose moisture and flatten. Plus, most come with multiple layers of cardboard and paper, so you can press several batches or different types of flowers all at once.
Ah, multiple layers. And I assume they speed things up a bit.
Yes, the drying time is usually faster, more like 1 to 2 weeks typically. It's definitely an investment compared to using old books, but a good quality press will last for years. The article suggests a basic 8 by 8 inch press is a great starting point for beginners.
1 to 2 weeks is better. Okay, but now, for those of us, like me perhaps, who need almost immediate gratification, or maybe have a last-minute project, the article mentions a real game changer: microwave flower pressing. That sounds almost too good to be true.
It is a huge one, honestly, especially when you're short on time or just impatient. It can literally take weeks of waiting down to mere minutes. We're talking maybe 30 to 90 seconds in the microwave. It's quite remarkable.
Wow. Okay, how does that work? Do you need special gear or can I just chuck some flowers on a plate?
Uh, Probably don't just chuck them on a plate. You can buy dedicated microwave presses, which are designed specifically for this. Or the source suggests a pretty clever DIY setup. You use two microwave-safe ceramic tiles, sandwich the flowers in parchment paper between them, and then secure the whole thing tightly with rubber bands.
Ceramic tiles and rubber bands. Okay, then what?
Then you microwave it in very short bursts,
Yeah.
like 20 to 30-second intervals, and you must check frequently between bursts to make sure nothing is scorching.
Right. No burnt flowers.
Definitely not. It's not a set-it-forget-it thing at all. Different flowers need different total heating times depending on their moisture content and thickness.
So it requires some vigilance. And I guess delicate things like pansies would cook press much faster than something denser like a zinnia.
Exactly. A delicate pansy might only need 20 or 30 seconds total. A denser daisy or zinnia might need more like 60, maybe even 90 seconds, spread over several bursts. It's brilliant for craft projects with kids because you get those immediate results. And Mia apparently used this method for a friend's last-minute bridal shower decorations.
See? Last minute lifesaver.
Totally. Quick turnaround projects.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Once you've actually mastered the pressing part, whichever method you choose, what do you do with these beautiful, delicate little pieces of nature?
Ah, yes. That's when the real fun begins, isn't it? Once you've got these lovely preserved blooms. The article really opens up a whole world of creative possibilities. Framed botanical art is hugely popular, and for good reason.
How does that work exactly?
You arrange the pressed flowers carefully between two panes of glass. Often people use those floating frames, where the art seems to hover.
Oh, yeah, I know those. Very cool.
Then you secure the edges, maybe with pretty washi tape or copper foil tape. It makes a really stunning, elegant display.
I love that idea. Very clean, really lets the flowers shine. What else?
Handmade stationery is another beautiful route. You can carefully glue small pressed flowers onto blank cards, bookmarks, journal covers.
Oh, nice.
And you seal them. You can use something like Mod Podge, the craft sealant stuff, or even just a clear spray fixative to protect them.
Personalized stationery. Love it.
Yeah.
What about more, maybe 3D crafts?
Absolutely. If you're into resin crafts, embedding pressed flowers in resin is fantastic. You can make coasters, jewelry pendants, keychains. The resin protects them perfectly, and they look amazing suspended in there.
Wow, okay, the possibilities are really opening up. Any ideas for just bring them into everyday home decor?
Definitely. You can subtly decorate things like plain pillar candles, just gently press them onto the surface, maybe seal with a thin layer of melted wax or Mod Podge, or lampshades, maybe even elements for a summer tablescape.
Oh, lovely.
Mia, in the article, she mentions gifting some framed pressed cosmos as a housewarming present, which just shows how personal and really touching these handmade creations can be.
It really does.
The article also suggests creating a sort of seasonal display, pressing flowers throughout the season and arranging them to show the garden's progression.
Like a visual diary of your garden through pressed flowers. That's a fantastic idea.
Isn't it? Capturing that whole journey.
It sounds like such a wonderful way to keep those memories alive, literally. But speaking of keeping them alive, how do you stop pressed flowers from fading over time? That feels like it would be a major bummer after all that work.
That is a really common concern, and it's a valid one. Fading is definitely the enemy. But the source gives several key strategies to help prevent it, or at least slow it down significantly.
Okay, hit me. What's number one?
First, and probably most important, light protection. Always, always display your pressed flower creations away from direct sunlight. UV rays are the absolute main culprit when it comes to fading color. Think of them like delicate watercolor paintings.
Right, so no sunny windowsills for your beautiful botanical art. Got it. What about the materials you use with the flowers? Does that make a difference, like the paper or the glass?
Huge difference. Quality materials are essential for longevity. Always use acid-free paper if you're mounting them onto anything. Acidic paper will yellow and can damage the flowers over time.
Acid-free paper. Okay.
And if you're framing them, definitely choose UV protective glass or acrylic. It might cost a little more, but it blocks those harmful UV rays and makes a massive difference in preserving the color long term.
Worth the investment then. What about sealing the flowers themselves? Does that help lock in the color?
Yes, proper sealing is also critical. The article recommends applying a fixative spray. Something like Krylon UV-resistant clear acrylic coating is often suggested.
How do you apply that?
You spray it in very thin, even layers, letting each layer dry completely before adding the next. It sort of builds up a protective shield against air exposure and UV light, helping to lock in that color.
Thin layers, build it up. Okay. And what about storing them long term when they're not on display?
For long-term storage, the best practice is to place the pressed flowers carefully between sheets of acid-free tissue paper. Then store them flat in a closed box, somewhere dark. This protects them from light, dust, and humidity changes.
Acid-free tissue paper in a box. Makes sense.
And generally, whether they're displayed or stored, climate control matters. Keep them in a relatively cool, dry environment. Too much humidity can encourage mold or deterioration.
Cool and dry. Got it. So, thinking about all this whole deep dive into summer flower pressing, it really highlights how it's so much more than just a craft, doesn't it? It feels like an art form, almost an art of slowing down.
It truly is. It's such a wonderful way to just pause, to really appreciate the fleeting beauty that's all around us, especially during these warmer months. And it's a genuinely meaningful, screen-free activity. That feels important these days.
Definitely.
It connects us not just to nature right now, but also kind of to generations past, people who understood this simple value of preserving beauty.
Yeah. Each pressed bloom really does become like a tiny time capsule, doesn't it?
Ex-
A tangible reminder of those summer days, maybe garden achievements, little outdoor adventures, all captured one delicate petal at a time.
Right.
And it feels really accessible, too. Like you said, you could literally start today with just a heavy book and some parchment paper.
Absolutely. It's a journey anyone can start, from a just simple curiosity to potentially a really rewarding, lifelong creative practice. It's all about transforming the temporary into something truly lasting.
So as you look around maybe your own late summer garden, or perhaps those wild patches you walk past every day, here's something to think about. What specific summer memory, or maybe just a feeling, what would you want to capture? Something you could revisit on a cold, dark day, one perfect petal at a time.